Welcome to the Generation Elevation podcast, a conscious, connected platform for those who are ready to manifest their dream life. I'm your host, Elise Riley, a former PT, now motivational speaker, igniting empowerment and transformation all across the globe. Here at Generation Elevation, we are committed to bringing you the most inspiring guests who will share their stories, wisdom, and advice to help you progress closer to living a life of your own terms. So it is officially month 3 of me living alone in West Kensington, London. Now, I moved out of my flat share at the start of the year and have been living in a small studio flat by myself for this amount of time. And I wanted to share with you the experiences that I've been having personal growth-wise and therefore share those lessons with you, knowing that I'm sure those of you listening will resonate. So the first couple of things that I noticed is how important socializing is. Because for me, I am so obsessed with my work, this podcast, with what I do, that I love to work and I do this a lot of the time. And as a high achiever, a high performer, I like to perfect things and get things done right. And so when I'm doing things, I kind of get lost in the moment of it and end up spending a whole day editing videos, right? And no time really for anything else, apart from the gym. The gym is what grounds me and what I do most days, or running at the moment. However, when I'm not at those two places, running outside at the park or in the gym, I'll be working. And this is amazing. And I love this trait about myself. But at the same time, I've noticed that it can also be really isolating. And being in this giant city of London, not really knowing anyone. Like, I know a lot of people and I'm so grateful for the amount of people that I have met. But oh my gosh, guys, I have been really missing my Australian fam, my Australian friends, and the people that I really grew close with over in the Gold Coast. I have felt this sense of like, it's hard to really even explain, but it's been quite a roller coaster of emotions where there's been really great highs and then also some low periods of, okay, I'm spending time with myself, a lot of time with myself, and am I actually having fun? And I noticed this within a lot of my clients, whereby we are obsessed with what we do. So whether it's for me, my work, or whether it's for them, their sport. And so because it's such an obsession, there's not really any room for anything else. And then when everything is quiet, work's quiet, or you're not playing because it's off season, it's kind of like, holy shit, what do I do with myself now? And I wanted to share with you this quote by C.S. Lewis. He says, "Look for yourself and you will find in the long run only hatred, loneliness, despair, rage, ruin, and decay. But look for Christ and you will find him, and him everything else is thrown in." Now, you are never alone. My belief is that we all have guidance and spirit guides or God or whatever faith it is that you have. There is this higher power and energy that is always with us. So for me, I've been really connecting in with that energy. At the same time, it's also been really interesting to note like how important socializing with friends actually is to me, because I've always been in gym spaces where I've had socializing in there, and that's also been enough for me. But I actually have never lived by myself. I've always flat shared or lived at home. So there's always been some sort of social interaction throughout my day. And living by myself has really emphasized my alone time. So for those of you listening where you feel lonely or alone sometimes, I want you to know like this C.S. Lewis quote, that you are never actually ever alone. And it can be really easy to focus in on that. But if you were to just take a moment to breathe and connect in with your heart, your body, your intuition, you'd realize that that is far from the fact that actually you do have lots of friends, but maybe they're just not here right now. Or maybe you have lots of support, but you just aren't aware of that because you're focusing on these heavier feelings. Or maybe because you're focusing on these heavier feelings, it's harder to hear your intuition and that guidance that is always there. The next quote he does say is that friendship is unnecessary. It's like philosophy, like art. It has no survival value. Rather, it is one of those things which give value to survival. How beautiful is that? Friendship isn't required to survive in life, but once you have your human basic needs met, like shelter, food, water, right? As we move up the hierarchy of human needs, socializing is a really important thing. It's where we make meaning of the world and we see where we fit into that, a sense of belonging. And for me, this is something that really, like I said, has been emphasized this month. And I was looking at stats of social isolation, and people who are socially isolated have a 29% higher likelihood of early mortality compared to those who are not isolated. Those who experience loneliness have a 26% higher likelihood of early mortality. And living alone, people who live alone face a 32% higher risk of mortality. Now, this was a PubMed study on loneliness, social isolation, and cardiovascular health. And I think that the study mainly was directed towards elderly people, but it is still quite heavy statistics in regards to isolation. And I think that this kind of stuff can be overlooked in science at the moment. So why do I share this with you? Why share that living by myself has been harder than I thought it would be? Because for those of you that are living alone or you're feeling a bit of a roller coaster of emotions right now, you're feeling a bit lost, this will all come down to these two things: social interaction and having more fun. Right? Creativity, flow, higher vibration for you to manifest things that you want to create in your life all come from the vibration of fun. If you're not having fun, right, then you're probably going to be blocked in regards to manifestation. You're probably going to be blocked in regards to ideas and creativity. If you're like banging your head against the wall because you can't get this project done, or you can't seem to understand what's happening in your relationship, or you can't understand why your performance is lacking, then it's probably because you aren't having fun at all and you're focusing so much on the problem that it's making it impossible to see the solution. So sometimes you need to pull yourself out of the problem, go have fun, whatever that is for you, and then revisit your problem at a different date with a different energy. And usually you'll be able to see it with a fresh eyes. For me, my fun, like soul fun, is going to a festival, like getting dressed up, listening to live music, being outside. Oh my gosh, I love, love, love that. Not a vibe with clubs and stuff, that's not my thing, but festivals, oh my gosh, I love live music. I love Rufus Du Sol, like, oh, goodness me. I saw Adriatic the other day. I love it. Then I also like to go to the gym and I like running, and they're all great, but once you're doing it by yourself all the time, it can get a little bit monotonous. So then comes point number 2, being around people, putting yourself out there to socialize. I went to a Gymshark running club last week to try and put myself out there to meet new people in the space, in the industry, and I met a couple of people and it was great. I'll probably go back there again. I was thinking of even joining like a sporting club, like a netball or football club here in London. I'm still contemplating that. I have also put myself out there to join different other clubs where people I know hang out, And when I do work on my laptop, I take myself to a cafe or to a public space. So I'm actually just around people anyway. So these are the kind of ways that I get out there. Now, if you are someone that struggles to make conversation, like let's say you lock eyes with someone, whether you're sexually interested in them or not, it doesn't matter, but you see someone, they catch your eye and you want to talk to them, but you don't want to be weird. I mean, you guys, if you've listened to my podcast, you would know that I have this weird, beautiful gift of knowing when I see someone, I lock eyes with them, I know I need to talk to them and I go and do it. But that has come with practice. So start small and practice. Like it could be someone in the coffee line that you talk to and you're like, or they smile at you. And most people start conversations with, oh, how's the weather today? Oh, shit. And they start with that. Like today, I had someone show me their phone at the gym and say, look how terrible this news article is. I've never spoken to this person in my life. However, they wanted to show me this news article that was terrible just so they could start a conversation with me. Because the thing is, with society right now, there's so much negativity in the media that people who are not used to putting themselves out there to socialize are getting used to the fact that the only way to communicate or talk about something, that the only thing interesting going on for them because they don't have any fun, like soul fun, is talking about all the shit things that are going on in the world right now. And guys, I guarantee you there are some really beautiful things going on in the world that the media aren't covering. So how can you have more fun in your life so that when you go to meet new people, you don't have to bring up negativity or the weather or things like this to start a conversation? For me, I started off practicing with like, hey, I really like your shoes, or I really like your socks. They're so funky. Or I like your hair, like, or you look so beautiful, depending if you feel confident enough to say that. Like, honestly, compliments will go such a long way. And make sure you mean it as well, because the energy has to match, and then go from there. And if it doesn't start anything, then that's okay, but you did try. What I would say for starting conversations is start getting to know yourself on deeper levels, because the more you get to know yourself, the better you'll become at asking questions for other people. Ask questions, and if there's an awkward pause, if there's this moment where you're like, oh, like they've gone silent, they don't know what to say, just ask questions again and again and again. And for me, I am extremely good at this because I've practiced it, whereby if the conversation goes dead with a complete stranger, I can just ask another question. Could be like, oh, how long have you been here for? What brought you here? Or why did you start at the gym? What started your training journey? And like, what's your favorite food? What's your favorite color? Oh, like, I really like your outfit. Where is it from? Like, where have you developed your style from? What's your biggest fashion inspiration? What do you do for work? Oh, wow, what got you into that? Like, these are all really great questions that I just thought of off the top of my head that could allow a conversation to go on for like 5, 10, 15 minutes for that one answer. If you ask yes or no questions like, oh, the weather's so shit today, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, cool. Where do you go from there? Nowhere. So try and ask open-ended questions. So over the next couple of months, I am making more of a conscious effort to put myself out there to social situations, to meet people that are my vibe. Now, I'm going to find people at festivals. I'm going to find people in the gym. I'm going to find people in like health food stores or like cafes that are going to resonate with my vibration, my beliefs, my values. And that is what I plan to do. So maybe in the next few months, I'll come back here, do a little update on the friends that potentially I have made. But yeah, that is my advice for making friends, putting yourself out there and having more fun. Okay. So I'm looking forward to hearing your stories as well and what you get up to find your fun. Thank you for being a part of the Generation Elevation community. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to leave a 5-star rating, written review, share, and tag me on Instagram at elise.riley. Until next time, keep loving, keep learning, and keep rising.